We're here at the Way We Worked exhibit, and I'm with Paul McCoy, and Paul is the program officer for the Humanities Tennessee. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good. Now tell me, how in the world did a Smithsonian exhibit end up in Elkton, Tennessee?
We're the State Humanities Council, and we work all across Tennessee, but we have a partnership with the Smithsonian Institute's Traveling Exhibit Service. And they have a program called Museum on Main Street. And the purpose of that program is to develop small exhibits that are Smithsonian quality that can travel to small museums in small towns across the country. And we work with the Smithsonian to bring those exhibits into the state, and then we work with individual historical organizations or museums in Tennessee to host a Smithsonian exhibit. And the folks here in Elkton with the Elkton Historical Society, they are one of 6 organizations in the state to host this exhibit.
That's wonderful. So bringing it into these small communities, what a wonderful hard work that it must take to bring this.
Great deal of work. In fact, the communities work for about 2 years before the exhibit arrives, and they do loads of professional development and museum training. We work with volunteer-run historical societies and museums. So while the folks here may not have, a master's in museum studies or that sort of thing, they learn so much and then they put it to use, and they work harder than anyone I've ever seen. It's just, It's such an amazing project, and to see what they do when they get this exhibit in there.
Right. Just talking to the folks inside about the different things that they're in charge of talking about with the students and all that come through here too, they become very knowledgeable and then pass that passion and that love for what the work is on to these students. I think it's amazing.
Absolutely. It's all about a love of history and a love of community and making sure that your story is told. And these guys know the story.
Yes.
And they're telling it in such a way that I think it's very meaningful for the people in the community and the people that are passing through and say, why is the Smithsonian in a community store on the side of the road? And you just happen to pop in.
This is why. Great. Now, I understand there's what's called a companion exhibit that's local that goes along with that, which does lace that right together.
Absolutely. Each of these exhibits, this one's called The Way We Worked, and each of them have a theme that's national in scope. This is a history of work over the last 150 years. Well, when we bring in the Smithsonian exhibit, the local community does their own companion exhibit, which is, it takes this theme and hyper-localizes it to the community itself. And so there's a series of panels in there that tell the story of how Giles County worked and how Elkton worked, and talks about industry and agriculture and local jobs here in the county. And what inevitably happens, you'll see this at every time we have one of these projects, the local community will come in to see the Smithsonian, but they'll always spend most of their time at the local exhibit.
Right.
And it's really interesting to see, and it preserves local history and continues it forward to the next generation.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much. This is just a real gift to the community, folks. Come out and see this exhibit and appreciate how hard everyone works.
Absolutely.